bio. Dr. STACY FEINER, you're up.
Whoop, whoop, fire in the house. Nice to see everybody. Really great to be part of the community. It's been a while. Julia, just magnificent, just brilliant and reassuring and innovative and common sense and just a whole bunch of combination of reactions to this. I'm actually writing a book based recognizing many of the qualities that you're talking about. I have them listed down, and we're going to be using the psychology of women to explain, where these traits come from. It's going to be sociological and psychological. But
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, I can't wait. October. I am curious. Here you have a book of exemplaries, and how does this translate to the mainstream population? So how do we, is there a handbook version, so to speak, of your book that allows those of us who perhaps are not as outliers, who borrow these tools and shape a leadership philosophy and model really for the populace,
I am talking to the publisher about potentially putting together some sort of a workbook. But I would say that currently, if you go to the epilogue of my book, the very last chapter, the epilogue, is my 5 key takeaways, which function as a kind of roadmap for how to deploy these in your own life. For instance, one of my key ones, and I have to find the epilogue here, is this idea that superpowers don't always look like powers, and to identify what your own superpower is, that is just a trait that you have that you could deploy to your own advantage. Or another one is that, it takes a different kind of village than you ever expected. And just looking at the diversity of relationships that each of these women in the book pulled upon in order to succeed, not just the idea of traditional mentors. So if you go to the epilogue in the book, you'll see I sort of lay it out more specifically, but I would like to eventually turn this into a workbook. There's some illegal version of a workbook that someone created on Amazon, so do not buy that one. That is fake. That someone read my book and created a workbook, a fake one, and you'll get so don't buy that one. Just buy my book and flip to the epilogue.
And how do you practice these things? What are good examples of your use of these traits in the work that you do?
Well, I would say the first thing that's really transformed my outlook on the world is that before reporting and writing this book, I used to subscribe to the serenity prayer, don't try to the things that you can't control them. So don't think about them. Don't let them bother you. What I realized in reporting this book is that there are probably 50 ways in which women face double standards and are judged more harshly than men. I had a stack of reports. And women are judged more harshly for showing any emotion, for using humor in the workplace, for showing anger in the workplace, obviously, for they're judged more harshly if they succeed in male dominated fields, for failing in female dominated fields. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. I didn't want to write about that data. I found it depressing. I am like Dahlia, an optimist. I am positive. And what I realized in having read that research and going about my everyday life is that it is essential to understand the obstacles you cannot control. The more you understand them, the better you can navigate them and also not let them bother you. So there have now been numerous occasions, both before the book came out and since then, where I have faced ridiculous bias or stereotypes, such as the assumption that women are supposed to be nurturing and warm all the time. That is a dominant stereotype of women. Women are expected to demonstrate warmth and nurturing. And the comments I've gotten in those situations when I'm doing my job, which has not involved being warm and nurturing, have been the kind of thing that previously would have set me into a panic, rewatching tapes, wondering if I'd been too harsh or mean, which were the terms that were used to describe me in interviews. But now when a man says like, oh, your interview seemed really mean, I have said, oh, gee, I don't think you would have given the same feedback to one of my male colleagues. Like, I thought it was really fair and I thought it was a really good interview. The subject didn't seem to think I was mean. But so I think just having a knowledge of those double standards or any kind of obstacles has been so empowering to not let it bother me because it's not about me. That comment really has nothing to do with me and everything to do with his assumptions and stereotypes. And then also to be able to glean from those conversations the really valuable stuff. I can get better feedback if I'm not distracted by the comments that are seated in bias.
Brilliant. Thank you, Julia. I appreciate you.
Thank you.